Stop chasing, discover the power of letting life come to you. Have you ever felt like you're constantly running after something, only to have it slip further away? Maybe it's a dream job, a relationship, or even a sense of peace within yourself. You push and push, convinced that if you just work harder, if you just try a little more, everything you desire will come to you, but instead it feels like you're caught in a cycle, chasing and never arriving. In our world, we're taught that if we don't actively pursue what we want, we'll miss out. We're conditioned to believe that the more we chase, the closer we'll get. But what if this way of thinking is actually holding us back? What if the answer to getting what you want in life isn't to chase it, but to let it come to you? Imagine this: instead of stressing over what's out of reach, you find a way to allow life to unfold naturally, with ease. You begin to experience a calm confidence, knowing that what's meant for you will come in its own time. It sounds almost magical, doesn't it? But there's real power in letting go of the chase, and today we're going to dive deep into why this works and how you can start living this way. In this video, you're going to discover why chasing can sometimes do more harm than good. We'll explore the psychological and emotional toll it takes, and how it can actually push away the very things you want. We'll also reveal some surprising, lesser-known truths about the power of letting life flow, and how trusting the process can transform your life in ways you might not expect. By the end of this video, you'll learn practical steps to stop chasing and start allowing. You'll see how letting go doesn't mean giving up. Instead, it can bring you a new level of inner peace, focus, and even success. So if you're ready to let go of the struggle and embrace a more fulfilling, aligned path, keep watching. This video might just be the shift you've been looking for. Welcome to Divine Reality, where we explore the deeper truths and wisdom of life. If you enjoy content that empowers you to live with purpose and clarity, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our latest videos. Let's get started. Before we talk about the benefits of letting life come to you, it's important to understand the impact of constantly chasing. When we're in a state of endless pursuit, it's easy to fall into a cycle of stress and frustration. We convince ourselves that if we stop even for a moment, everything we want will slip away. So we keep pushing, keep striving, and keep running after goals that seem just beyond our reach. But what does this constant chase really do to us? For one, it drains our energy. Chasing often leads to burnout, where both our mind and body feel exhausted from the relentless effort. We start feeling worn out, tired, and even resentful. It's like trying to run a marathon without any rest, constantly stretching ourselves to keep up with a finish line that keeps moving. The more we chase, the more elusive that sense of fulfillment becomes. And instead of feeling motivated, we start feeling trapped. Then there's the emotional toll. When we're constantly in chase mode, we're not fully present in the moment. Our focus is always on what's missing, what we haven't achieved yet, or what might go wrong if we stop. This leaves us in a state of worry, always thinking about the next step, the next goal, the next achievement. We start to feel desperate, as if our worth is tied to catching whatever we're chasing. And desperation is a heavy burden. It clouds our judgment, makes us anxious, and takes away our peace of mind. In this state, we may even start to doubt ourselves. We wonder, why isn't it happening yet? What am I doing wrong? This doubt can create a cycle of overthinking, where we try to fix things by pushing even harder. Ironically, though, the harder we chase, the further things can feel. It's almost like holding sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. This is because when we chase, we're often acting out of fear or lack. We're trying to control outcomes, to make things happen on our timeline. But life doesn't always work that way. What many don't realize is that chasing can actually push away what we want. When we're constantly focused on the future, we're not fully appreciating the present. This sends out a message of lack, reinforcing the idea that what we want is not already ours. Instead of attracting the things we desire, this mindset can create resistance, making it harder for good things to flow into our lives naturally. So, while chasing may seem like the only way to get what we want, it often backfires. Before we talk about how to let go of chasing, let's consider a different perspective, one that's about allowing life to flow rather than forcing it to bend to our will. When we stop gripping so tightly, we allow things to unfold naturally. This doesn't mean giving up on what we want, it means creating space for life to bring those things to us in ways we might never expect. Think about it this way: when we're constantly trying to control everything, we limit ourselves. We're so focused on making things happen that we miss out on opportunities that might be right in front of us. By stepping back and letting life flow, we're open to new paths, to unexpected moments that might bring us closer to what we want without the usual struggle. This shift in perspective doesn't mean abandoning our goals, it just means approaching them with a sense of trust rather than force. When we allow life to come to us, we're actually aligning ourselves with a deeper flow. Imagine floating down a river instead of swimming upstream. In one scenario, you're fighting against the current, expending all your energy to get somewhere. In the other, you're moving in harmony with the water, letting it guide you while still steering in the direction you desire. This is the essence of allowing rather than controlling. It's not passive, it's about making a conscious choice to trust that the current of life is bringing what you need. What's surprising is that when we let go of that intense need to control every detail, things can actually work out more smoothly. The right opportunities and people tend to show up, often when we least expect it. By releasing the chase, we're not giving up on what we want, we're creating an open space for things to flow to us naturally. And this flow often brings us exactly what we need in a way that feels less forced, more aligned, and sometimes even better than we imagined. Before we talk about how to start letting go, let's explore some of the incredible benefits that come from allowing life to unfold. When we stop chasing and simply let things come to us, we experience a kind of inner peace that's hard to find when we're constantly pushing. This peace doesn't mean we don't care about our goals, it means we've found freedom from the anxiety and tension of always having to be in control. One of the first benefits of letting go is a profound sense of freedom. We're no longer weighed down by the constant worry about what's next or whether we're doing enough. Instead, we become more grounded, able to enjoy the present moment without feeling the need to rush through it. This sense of being grounded creates a stable foundation where we can focus on what truly matters, rather than feeling scattered or pulled in different directions. It's like finally being able to breathe deeply after holding our breath for too long. Another powerful effect of letting go is that we actually start attracting more of what we desire. When we're content and secure in ourselves, we give off a different kind of energy, one that's calm and welcoming, rather than frantic and grasping. This shift often brings positive experiences and people into our lives naturally, without us having to chase them down. It's as if by not desperately searching, we become magnets for the things we want, whether that's opportunities, relationships, or personal growth. Letting go also opens the door to enhanced creativity and mindfulness. When our minds aren't constantly racing, we have the mental space to be present and to think more freely. Ideas come to us more naturally, and we're able to see solutions and possibilities we might have missed in the midst of all the chasing. This sense of mindfulness allows us to appreciate the journey rather than just the destination, enriching our lives with a deeper sense of purpose and joy. And perhaps most importantly, letting go boosts our overall well-being. The stress of chasing can take a serious toll on our mental and physical health, but allowing life to flow brings a gentle ease into our days. We feel lighter, more at peace, and more connected to ourselves and the world around us. Instead of constantly striving, we begin to thrive, finding fulfillment in the process itself rather than just the outcomes. Before we talk about the impact these changes can have, let's look at some practical ways to begin letting life come to you. These steps aren't about instant results, they're small, daily shifts that gradually reshape how we approach our goals and desires. By practicing these steps consistently, we start to feel more aligned and open, making room for the things we want without needing to chase them. The first step is practicing trust and acceptance. This means believing deep down that what's meant for you will find its way to you. Trust can be difficult, especially if you're used to working hard for everything, but this isn't about abandoning effort. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome. Remind yourself regularly that life has its own timing and that sometimes things work out in ways we can't predict or plan. By accepting this, you start to ease the tension around your goals and create a sense of calm, knowing that you don't have to force every detail into place. Next, focus on your present self. Often we're so focused on the future that we overlook the value of where we are now. Take time to nurture happiness and gratitude for the life you have in this moment. Celebrate small wins, notice the good around you, and build a sense of contentment within yourself. This doesn't mean settling or giving up on what you want. It means building a solid foundation of happiness that doesn't depend on something external. When you're truly content in the present, you radiate a sense of peace that naturally attracts more positive experiences. The third step is to stay open to opportunities without trying to force or manipulate them. This might be the hardest part, especially if you're used to planning and controlling. Start by noticing when you're trying to push things forward, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal growth. Instead of forcing outcomes, make room for unexpected possibilities. Let life surprise you. Sometimes the most meaningful opportunities come from places we least expect, but they can only appear if we're open to them. These steps might seem simple, but they're powerful when practiced consistently. Each day, as you trust, stay present, and keep an open mind, you're gradually shifting your approach from one of struggle to one of ease. Letting life come to you becomes less of an idea and more of a natural way of living. Before we talk about the final steps in letting life flow, let's look at a simple analogy to bring this idea to life. Imagine a plant growing in a garden. It doesn't force itself to grow taller or make its flowers bloom faster. Instead, it simply relies on the right conditions: sunlight, water, and nutrients from the soil. With time and patience, it grows naturally, without struggle or strain. The plant doesn't worry about whether it's doing enough. It trusts in the natural process and allows life to unfold. This example may seem basic, but it's surprisingly powerful. Just like the plant, we often thrive when we're not forcing things to happen. By creating the right conditions within ourselves, like staying open, present, and grateful, we allow our lives to blossom without unnecessary pressure. When we're rooted in trust and self-care, our lives can grow in ways that feel smooth, natural, and aligned. Or think about friendships and relationships. Often the best connections in our lives aren't the ones we chase after, they're the ones that come naturally when we're simply being ourselves. These friendships unfold because we're in the right space emotionally and mentally, attracting people who connect with us on a deeper level. By allowing these relationships to come to us, we find connections that feel effortless and meaningful. These analogies show that the power of letting life flow isn't about giving up control entirely. It's about setting up the conditions for growth and then letting things happen in their own time. Just as a garden doesn't rush its flowers, we too can learn to trust the timing of our lives and let go of the need to push. In the end, the message is simple: stop chasing and allow life to unfold naturally. Trust that everything has its time and place. When we let go of the need to control every detail, we open ourselves to the possibility of something better than we imagined, something that arrives effortlessly, without struggle. Remember, life often brings us exactly what we need when we're not looking. Sometimes the best things happen when we let them come to us in their own time. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to Divine Reality for more insights on living a fulfilling, purposeful life. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.